Hello everyone, this is Tricky and welcome to my Draw My Life video. I've been on and off about making one of these ever since I hit 100k, so even though this is a very old YouTube tradition, I'm finally gonna do it. I'm gonna be doing this with my tablet because I don't have a tripod and I don't really want to put my webcam in my mouth or anything like that, so this is what we're gonna be doing today. So let's go ahead and get right into it. On August 23rd, I was born somewhere in Covington, Louisiana, where I magically spawned in a hospital. And well, my mom was there too. But anyway, of course, Tricky is not my real name. I was given the name Shelby since my mom was obsessed with a movie called Steel Magnolias and sports cars. I don't remember too much about my super early years since obviously I was a baby, but I was eventually filled in. Unfortunately, my mom has a very bad drug addiction problem and would leave me in crack houses and bars because she was too out of it to remember she brought her baby along with her to begin with. She was married at the time, and 2 years after I was born, my mom had a second kid, and I became a very cuddly 2-year-old. I love my little brother. His name is Colby, and through the years, we were both introduced to the black and white Godzilla films, and we became completely obsessed. Oh Lord, I can't draw Godzilla, help me! Anyway, my grandparents were in the background the entire time trying to get custody over me. I called them Mama Linda and Papa Ray, and I still do. I stayed with them most of the time until they finally adopted me whenever I was in the first grade. My brother and I would only visit our mom. We always had fun, but we didn't really understand at the time why we couldn't stay all the time. Mind you, my brother and I never lived together, but whenever we did visit, it was always an adventure. My mom and her dad, which is my blood grandfather, Papa Gene, stayed in a house which was right next to the Pearl River. You could see the water from the windows, and as a kid, it was just the most beautiful sight in the world, and I will always remember how wonderful it looked. Then whenever it was time for me to go back to my grandparents' house, I would get all sad because I would have to leave all of them. As I said before, my brother didn't actually live with me. He lived with my dad or other family members at the time. I eventually found out that my dad was not my biological father, but he was my brother's real dad. Apparently, my mom had cheated on him while they were married and accidentally got pregnant thanks to a random guy. I was kinda the awkward kid. To this day, I still don't know who my real father is, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. Despite that, my mama and my papa were extremely good to me, and despite my mom drama, I made a lot of wonderful memories. My uncle gave me his Atari for one of my birthdays, and that was the first time I played my first video game. I was obsessed with Pitfall, and eventually I was given Pac-Man too, but Pitfall was still my favorite thing in the world. I was obsessed. My little brother was always staying with me, like on the weekends and during school break, so we were still very, very close and journeyed through the gaming world together. While I was still in the first grade, I discovered Pokemon for the very first time at a friend's sleepover. Best day ever. My friends introduced me to the first season of Pokemon, and I remember the exact episode too. It was that very sad episode with Charmander when it gets abandoned. But after that, I became obsessed with Charmander and everything Pokemon. I swear my mama Linda was psychic when it came to sensing good video games, because once I got the N64, she introduced me to Banjo-Kazooie, Mario, and tons of others. My brother and I became pretty obsessed with video games at a very young age, and to go along with our Godzilla obsession, we were introduced to Jurassic Park. Dinosaurs instantly got added to the obsession list. Our neighbors thought we were kind of weird because we were growling at them and at each other, but that was kind of normal for us. My hair was super curly, and I eventually had to get glasses, so I looked pretty swell. But the main thing I really enjoyed doing was making people laugh. I was always doing all kinds of crazy things just so I could make someone crack a smile. Then the older I got, I started noticing that people were treating me differently. Then I became aware that I did have darker skin than everyone else. The majority of my family are super white, including my grandparents, mom, and my brother. And the older I got, the more I noticed that my skin was different from theirs. Other kids would think I was lying that my brother was even related to me, or wouldn't even want to be associated with me just because my skin tone was a little bit too dark for their taste. One of my best friend's dad was even racist towards me, and then I would even have to sneak to visit her. I was still fairly confident in elementary school though, and I didn't let a lot lot of things stopped me. In 5th grade, I became obsessed with the anime Inuyasha, so I became proud that I was a mixed race, just like him. Those were usually the times that I got curious about my mystery dad, but my grandparents encouraged me not to really look into it. During a visit with my mom, things got a little bit rough. My brother, stepdad, mom, and me were there at the river as usual, but it really wasn't like any of the other trips at all. Mom became very angry and got into a giant fight with dad. That really wasn't the prominent part my brother and I remember though. We remember mom reaching for a gun and aiming it at my dad. We were scared to death and didn't really know what she was going to do. Eventually, she does shoot the gun. Of course, we didn't see what happened at first because we were all terrified, but apparently mom had shot him in the foot as a warning. But even so, we were terrified that our mom just shot our dad. The neighbors called the police, mom was arrested, and both my brother and me were sent back to Momo Linda while dad went to the hospital. Kinda obvious that mom and dad divorced after that. But again, my grandparents came to the rescue. Then for a while, mom was completely out the picture for a few years. In 7th grade, Hurricane Katrina hit, and that was the craziest thing ever. Giant Category 5 hurricane hitting Louisiana, and it was nothing I've ever seen before. It started right on my birthday, too. The wind actually lifted up our roof, and we hid under a table as it rained inside of our house. It was crazy. It was pretty scary, but I feel like the entire experience brought my family closer together. After that, everything seemed to start calming down, but of course, that didn't last long. That same year of 2005, my parents said they had something to tell me. I knew that they were acting a bit strange, and they sat me down one day after school and hit me with the news. Momo had cancer. I was terrified, and I didn't really know how to react. She had it for quite some time, too. Not knowing how to really control my emotions, I would lash out at her. I regret that every single day of my life, and I wish I could go back in time and stop myself. By the end of December, she couldn't even remember who I was. She couldn't talk, she couldn't focus, she couldn't walk. Papa did his best to take care of her. I was only 12 at the time, and it was just so painful for us to watch her wither away. She eventually passed away in January 2006, and it was just very hard on both Papa and me. My mom was still in prison at the time, and my closest uncle slipped into being an alcoholic. The same year that she died, Papa remarried another woman, and I became extremely angry, and I rebelled, thinking that Papa had betrayed my grandmother. Of course, that's not what it really was. Most of my Momo's family kinda disappeared off the face of the planet, and because of further drama, my little brother stopped visiting me as well. That's when I kinda retreated to the internet. It made me feel so much more comfortable, and I was able to melt into a wonderful fantasy world where I didn't feel smothered. I did have a friend who was there for me, though. She lived just a few blocks away, so I just walked to her house whenever I felt like it. In 9th grade, I went to a new school, and I tried to make new friends at this place, but no one wanted anything to do with me. Believe it or not, but this was not a very diverse school. I was the darkest person there, and they just looked at me in disgust. No one wanted anything to do with me. They hated me. Kids are cruel. Stop bullying people. That ain't nice. But anyway, depression hit me extremely hard, and eventually I did get 3 friends outside of my class because we were all obsessed with anime, so we clicked pretty easily. Papa's new wife and me fought like cats and dogs. We could not get along. Things were getting worse, so my parents sent me to counseling, and we even had a family counseling session at one point. Papa finally let me switch schools in the middle of my 10th grade year. This school helped me a lot. I started making friends. Nobody looked at me like I was an alien. It was a lot more diverse, and it was definitely a giant improvement. I really started focusing on piano, and then I also got a job as a motel housekeeper as well to get money. As soon as I graduated high school, my mom got out of prison, and my papa and his wife divorced, sending me into another frenzy. I hated being around so much drama all the time, and I thought I was so smart, so I even made a smarter decision by moving in with someone I met online as soon as I hit 18. And that is sarcasm. Please do not do that. Never move in with someone online unless you truly know who they are and you know what's going on. So I moved from Louisiana to New York in 2011. I made my first YouTube channel where I posted remixes and piano covers. Most of them were songs from Sonic the Hedgehog. I was very obsessed at the time. I began working 2 jobs for a while because I really needed the money, and I remember being super tired all the time. Well, to be honest, I'm tired all the time anyway. On June 14, 2012, I made my Trickywi channel, which was originally made to be a Let's Play channel. I posted Minecraft and Team Fortress 2 videos there. It just made me feel really good to share my gaming experience with people. But then another wave of bad news happened. While in New York, I get a phone call that my papa was just diagnosed with throat cancer. My soul left my body, and now I was too far away and I couldn't even be with him. One of my coworkers noticed how I came to work unhappy every day, and then he reached out to me. His name was Jeff. Let's all thank Jeff. He reminded me of my self-worth and that I needed to stand up for myself. He told me that I needed to go back home. A lot of my family members and my friends knew what was going on in New York, and they just begged me to come back. I took on more hours so I could earn more money. With the push I needed, I moved back to Louisiana. So I start working at a pharmacy full-time while working on my YouTube channel in my free time. So most of my money would go to Papa, and things were pretty tight for us for a while, but I was okay because I was with Papa. I got super obsessed with Pokemon once again during that time, so that's always good. So most of my content on my Trickywi channel revolved around that, as most of you guys already know. I didn't really have good internet though at the place I was living. I had satellite internet and a data cap, so every time I wanted to make a video, I would go to a friend's house, collect all the stuff I needed on a flash drive, drive back home, and then edit on my computer. It was all worth it. Eventually, after a lot of treatment, Papa's cancer disappeared. It was gone, and things finally started to look up. So let's speed this up a little bit. I eventually started working at a restaurant until I moved in with a friend in New Orleans. Then Papa got remarried to a very nice lady. Then things got a little bit rocky for me again. My Papa Gene, which is my biological grandfather, not the one I've been living with, he passed away, and just weeks after, my closest uncle overdosed. I took my uncle's death really badly, and then I had a very bad encounter with my mom. She got arrested after that, and now she's out the picture again. I had to go back to counseling, but nothing really seemed to be helping. Eventually my health just disintegrated, and then I was put into the hospital. After that, something just snapped inside of me. I just woke up. I was sick of feeling sad all the time. The only person who could actually make myself happy is me, and the only person who can make you happy is you. I wasn't getting better because I was waiting for someone to save me. I was wasting so much time, and my mind made myself a dark prison that I was just stuck in. But I had the freaking daggum key the entire time. So many other people have gone through so much worse, and I couldn't just pretend like my world was ending, because it wasn't. It was just beginning. Things happen. Bad things will always happen, but good things also happen too. It takes two to make life. Bad or good. You need the bad to get some good if you need the good to get bad. What? But here we are today at over 300,000 subscribers. I'm really glad that I shared my story with you, and I hope that you guys can reach out to others and share your story too. Like, you should not be silent. Like, don't be ashamed of things that's happened to you. I just thank everyone for going through this journey with me, because I definitely did not do this by myself. All I have left is Papa Ray and my brother now, but it's still family. It's more than enough for me. And then I also have you. That's why I always say join the world domination to join the family. Y'all are my family, and I love you guys. Always work your booty off to get what you want to. It does not come to you. That crap ain't free, dude. It ain't free. I'm very excited to continue my journey with you guys, and I can't wait to see what life will bring me next. So yeah, thanks again to everyone who watched, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!